Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and now we're going to be talking about the Pro Division, and we're going to be covering the Easter Classic Tournament. This is going to be the front 9 wind, so I played the front 9 on both of my accounts. I'm getting this video up a little earlier than I thought I would. I was planning on waking up tomorrow morning early and starting on Pro, but I actually played a little bit during my lunch break today and got into a good swing, so I figured I'd go ahead and release it tonight. Take a look here. We dropped hole 1, dropped hole 4, dropped hole 6, dropped hole 8. And hole number 9 is very, very tough on Pro Division. So, let's be ready for that one because that is a challenging hole to pick up the eagle on. Hey, if you're not a subscriber, please become one. I think we're like 15 subscribers away, 20 subscribers away from breaking the next 100 barrier mark. That would be awesome. If you like my video, please take a moment there to hit that thumbs up button and give it a like. That's very important to YouTube creators. And let's go. Hole number 1. Okay, so hole number 1, we're going to play a power shot here. And I'm actually going to show you 2 different clubs you can use. Now, yeah, I know I have an Epoch 6. You're going to be able to execute this shot with really any level Apocalypse. And the landing spot is going to be pretty similar for what we're going to play. We just have a lot of fairway to work with here. But definitely had a friend of mine, send me the power shot. Now, he did it with an extra mile, but I know in previous videos, people have asked me if I could try to show APOC and extra mile slices. So we already had the extra mile landing spot figured out, so all we had to do was figure out the APOC. And I'll show you the shot, and then we'll go back and kind of rewind it here. And we'll talk through it. But you're going to see this is a really clean shot here, getting us in really good range to drop an eagle. And we do pick up the eagle on both accounts. Okay, so let's talk through this again here. First of all, take a look at the spin adjustments. Full top, max side spin to the right. I was looking at my notes, and I was lining up way over here because I had marked down like what color rings to put on the rough, and it wasn't matching up. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be way over here. I was in the wrong area. All right, so what I was looking for here was half of my blue ring in the rough, in the dark rough, and then half of my blue ring in the light rough. Okay, so if we take a if we take a look at the right side blue ring, you see half is in the dark green, half is in the light green rough. So that's what I was looking for, okay? That was the landing spot that we come to the conclusion on with the APOC. And from here, it's just full curl to the right and full slice to the right. Obviously pretty easy there to execute that shot. As you can see, we have a ton of fairway to work with, and you saw the end result. This is what the chip-in shot looks like from there. Now, we do need to play this one 20%, and it's going to be 20%, and you're going to have to judge your own distance. But as you can see here, I am at the absolute minimum mark of my thorn, which is really nice because I can just play absolute minimum numbers. But the 20% is key here in this wind angle. Perfect ball. And we get this thing to go home for a nice eagle there. And then we take a look at the spin adjustments. 2 back, half left is what I used. 2 back, half left. Okay, so now you might be wondering, well, what about an extra mile? So it doesn't matter what your extra mile level is, okay? Now keep in mind, some are going to have more top spin than others. Here I'm going 7 top, 3 right. You might only have 6 top, and that's okay. Here's what we're looking for on our extra mile. You'll see that I'm aiming a little bit more right this time. That's a lot more right. I've got half of my blue ring in the bunker. So you can kind of see the landing spot here. But same thing as far as the slice goes. And we come in really nice onto the fairway. Clearly not as many yards on this shot as I did with my other one. But now this one I'm playing at mid. So you're going to see 1 shot dropped at minimum and then 1 shot dropped at mid. Now we are going with the same spin, the 2 back, half left. Definitely want to give a big thanks to Danny for showing me this shot. He's good with these types of power shots. Definitely not my thing. you know, but he has showed me the shot on a couple of his accounts and then showed me the shots to pin. And, you know, he was telling me that the half left side spin at the 20% elevation was key. So I was able to learn from one of his misses. So I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. Okay, here we go on to hole number 2. Okay, hole number 2, I'm going to show you what we need to do. So what we need to do here, and what I did wrong, is we need the grizzly in the bag. So you see here I put grizzly in bag. And the reason that we're doing that is because we want to find our minimum distance line with the sniper. You know, when you start to get the pro and expert, I have that Goliath in the bag, and I need to switch it to grizzly on par 3s because sometimes it helps us to find the minimum distance line. We want to go 3.1 back with half a bar of side spin to the right. And then I'd like to see us pull at 30% elevation at mid distance. Ball guideline center and through pin. I know it's a novel, but I'm trying to be really detailed for everybody. I assume that's what you're tuning in for. You can see here what I messed up was I'm getting caught in between clubs. But that's okay. We can still set the shot up. Here you can see I'm using 3 bars of backspin with half a bar of side spin to the right. Ball guideline going through the hole. Just like that. But I did tell you to put a click more backspin on, and you're going to see why. We do hit the perfect ball. Ball comes in a little hot, for sure. But on this account, I do have it set up the way that I want it set up. Because you can see here, I put my grizzly in the bag, which allows me to do that. It allows me to find that minimum distance line. Here I did apply more backspin. And I got the ball guideline going center through the hole. Now the only issue here is, of course, when I went to test my theory, I hit a great ball. But, you know, I do like the speed at which this one came in. But unfortunately, that great ball to the left is going to cause me to miss to the left. Hey, anyways, that's my thoughts on hole number 2. You know, we'll see what happens. Okay, hole number 3. We just really going to go bombs away here. Using a kingmaker to reduce that wind for sure. Now you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going with as much topspin as possible, combined with as much side spin to the right as possible. I've got my first bounce after my landing spot on the top fairway, second bounce fully developed onto the bottom fairway. I'm setting up at the plus 8 yard mark. Now, of course, I could go to plus 15 or plus 16, I believe. But I have to back up my target in order to pull my rings correctly, which I do here. Puts me back at the plus 16. Now from here, I'm going with quite a bit of overpower. Not full overpower, but it's quite a bit. You know, the most important thing is that we land on the bottom fairway, so I didn't want to push the drive too crazy. But plenty of room to work with. We get a nice bounce, and we roll onto the bottom part, which is exactly what we wanted to do. Now that'll take us on to shot number 2. This one I'm playing 0% at max. That's for me. You know, again, you need to check your own distance of your club and see where you're at. I know a lot of people will be playing this shot with the grizzly. For me, I like the Goliath. But just make sure, I think the 0% is good. Just make sure you check your own distance so that you pull your shot accurately. Here, this was an easy pull for me because I already know I'm at max. I'm at the plus yardage of my Goliath. And that's a good indication that we're going to take the shot at max. You know, we missed this one by about 1 green square to the right. Definitely, in my opinion, a difficult hole to pick up an albatross on just because of how bumpy the fairway and green is. But, you know, that's a nice little eagle to pick up. All right. Here, we're going to play this one 15% at mid. And I'm going to show you the landing spot that we need. And I figured this one out because I missed it by a hair on my other account. 3 back, 1 left, navigator ball. 15% at mid. I want people to understand that 15% at mid does not always mean 1 for 1, okay, with a sniper. And I see this all the time, and it's a big misconception in the game. And let me show you what I mean here. I'm getting set up. Okay, so look at the 7.3 mile per hour wind, power 1 ball, sniper 10, 15% at mid. 7.3 wind is 7.4 rings. Now, I know that we're only talking about 0.1 decimal, but just think about how many times in a tournament you leave a shot at the pin and it doesn't drop. Sometimes that 0.1 can be all the difference in the world. And to me, it is on this hole. That's why I want to call it out. 15% at mid with a power 1 ball is not 1-for-1 with a sniper. It's 1-for-1 plus 0.1, unless the wind is low. Now you see if we have 4.5 mile per hour wind, then it is 1-for-1. So, you know, I see a lot of people say 15% at mid is just 1-for-1. It's not. And I wanted to show you the proof in the pudding there before I brought it up. Okay, so here I'm going to try to pull this 7.4 rings. And for me, it's easier when I zoom out to pull the rings. You can see there the needle really jumps around on us. It's very, very fidgety, making this one a little bit of a tougher pull to pull exactly north. But we do drop it there and on the left-hand side. Here is what I want you to pay attention to when it comes to this shot, though. This is going to be super important. Orange ring on the rough line, just like that. Orange ring on the rough. Now, take a note at the landing spot. I want you to notice the second bounce. Come on, Dave, get back to the right camera angle. Okay. Second bounce. Look at that. It is on the corner pocket of the dark green square, bottom right. So dark green square, bottom right-hand corner of that square. Now look at the end of the ball guideline. It's in another dark green square, favoring the middle left-hand side. On my other account, the tip of the ball guideline was in the direct middle of that dark green square, and I missed by a fraction to the right-hand side, which is why I moved this over just a hair to the left. And then that ball, as you can see, came in really nicely. 7.3 mile per hour wind, a little on the high-end scale of pro. My other account got hit with 6.1, but the shot played very true, either way you go. 10% at max into hole number 5. I use a lot of Kingmakers in pro in headwind, so I know we're really going through them here, but I apologize, but I think it's the best way to attack headwind, and we get a lot of headwind on this one. Now, this hole is easy to pick up a birdie on. I don't blame you if you just want to throw a katana out here or even a navigator. Not going to really matter because you can easily reach the green in 2 in whatever ball you use. I think this is a very difficult hole to pick up an eagle on, in my opinion, in the wind angles that we're getting today. So, you know, feel free to save yourself a ball unless you're supremely confident in this rough bump that's coming up. But anyways, you can see here, we just drive down the fairway. You can push it if you want to. It doesn't matter to me. You can absolutely try the rough bump. I hate rough bumps and crosswind mixed with headwind. I cannot stand it. Now here, I'm going to go with, you're going to see the top spin, and I used 1 bar of side spin to the right. Now, I'm doing this because on my other account, I didn't use any side spin at all. I played it with the top spin. I used 2.5 bars of top spin, no side spin to the right. And my ball came in way to the left, even though I played it minus 20% elevation. We're playing it uphill, okay? Minus 20% elevation. Perfect ball, and we're nowhere close. I mean, I'm just being honest. This thing hits the rough is fine, but holy cow, look at this thing just take off to the right on me. This one a little confusing for me. I wish I had a few more cracks at it, but I don't. I missed 1 shot by a mile to the left, and I missed another shot by a mile to the right. So, you know, maybe half a bar of right side spin. I don't know. But, yeah, there's other drops out there, like this one right here. I'm loving this hole today. I picked up albatrosses like crazy on it on my rookie accounts. And then I picked up an albatross on it on both my pro accounts. And some people ask why this is an easier hole than albatross. I'll explain it to you when we get to the second shot of why. Here I'm going with 7 bars of top spin, 2 bars of side spin to the right. I know a lot of players have extra mile level 8s. So obviously you're going to use 6 bars of top spin, a couple of bars of right side spin. For me, I'm just going to take a normal shot, you know. If you want to try to push the drive and get further up, nothing wrong against that. just make sure you land on the fairway. It doesn't matter to me if you're playing the rough bump with a Goliath or with a sniper. It's going to give you a supreme chance to drop the albatross. And I hope I can get fortunate with it in the final round. -5% with an offset. Okay, I wanted to call that out. -5% with an offset. The spin adjustment is golden. Okay, we're going to go about 1.2, 1.3 bars of left side spin. And here we're going to go with about 2.8, 2.9 bars of backspin. For me, I'm looking for this spot here on the green with my ball guideline favoring the left-hand side of the pin. So you can see that I'm not dead center. I favor the left-hand side of the pin, even though the wind is blowing to the left. That's just kind of how this hole rolls sometimes. I'm looking to have my yellow ring right there by the fringe line, as you can see. 5.1 miles an hour, but we're only going to pull this 3.9 rings. You see? 3.9. That's it. Perfect ball. And the reason that this is such a good albatross shot is because there's such a low distance from where the rough bump is to the hole. That really helps when it comes to dropping the shot. Ironically enough, this is extremely fortunate that I got the exact same wind on my other account. So both rough bumps were at 5.1 mile an hour. So, all I have to do is just line this thing up the exact same way, and it's going to drop as long as I hit perfect. So here I go again with the side spin and then the back spin, left-hand side of the cup. But I just showed it to you how consistent it is. We get 2 drops there, the exact same wind. We'll take 2 albatrosses all day long. Now, this one, I'm going to be perfectly frank with you. I don't know what to do. All right, this hole is a pain in the butt. I finally picked up a hole-in-one on rookie today with the rough bump. I'm not playing the rough bump in pro. Not in these wind angles yet. If they want to give us direct crosswind, okay. But boy, I tell you, if you go for the rough bump here, you could easily miss pool and just stick the ball in the sand. And to me, I had a really good round going on both of my accounts. I was not going to ruin a good round by getting stuck in the sand. So I'm just taking a marlin ball. You can use a basic ball if you're just going to lay up like me. It doesn't matter. I got 9,000 marlins that I'm never going to use. So obviously, I'm not going for a hole-in-one. I'm just sticking it to the green. Like, that's it. All right, and we're just going to pretend that shot never happened. We're going to delete that one from the memory banks. Oh, yeah, here we go. Now, who sent me this? I forgot who sent me this. Anyways, somebody sent me this shot today on Facebook Messenger. I can't think of the name, but that's all right. Really awesome shot, dude. This is like golden. I really appreciate you doing this. So basically what he did was say, hey, there's a shot out here on this hole. There's another power shot. And, he knows I don't like doing these because sometimes they just confuse me. I'm not good at counting the rings and stuff like that on these. But he said, hey, like the landing spot, you can't get wrong. So you see those 2 bushes right there that are together? Like that's what he had circled for me. So he said, you just want to aim your bullseye right here at these 2 bushes. So they're side by side. Right to the left of those pink trees. And he even said, you'll know you're in the right area if you see the one big green tree in front of you. So let me show you what I'm talking about here, just in case. This is the one big tree he circled. He said, yep. And then boom, right here, these 2 bushes. He said, just point right there. So that's what I did. Berserker. Check this thing out, man. This is awesome. Man, can you believe that? That's a really cool shot. But the bad part is on one of my accounts, I hit a great shot for the chip in, but on this one, I do pick it up. Thank goodness. Anyways, we're going to be using the fringe here for a stable ball bounce. We're going to use a little bit of backspin. And, we're going to pull our rings here. We just really need to hit perfect on this one. I'm just going to drop into the hole. Cannot believe I missed this shot on one of my accounts. Or else I could have had a minus 15 on both. And then we're going to go into hole number 9. 100% honest, hole number 9 sucks. I got very lucky and picked up an eagle on one of my accounts, which is I'm going to show you here. On my other one, I birdied the hole. This is a very brutal hole when it comes to pro. So I'm trying to think what I was going to say here. If you're a player who has money balls, okay, and you got a lot to spare, if you have a power 5, win 3, win 4 ball, big advantage for you. If you're somebody who has one of those powerful balls that has crazy top spin, big advantage for you. For the rest of us, we're having to play with a berserker. If you don't have a berserker, your next best ball is going to be a kingmaker, but you're really going to have a hard time getting to the green in 2. As you can see here, I am going to be pushing up to max. I'm going to be using a ton of overpower with a little bit of curl to the right. $397 is what we get, okay? And look at this. That's going to leave us with a max distance cataclysm shot. Power 5 ball, like not even close to the green here. Back-to-back headwind, of course, is brutal. I'm hoping that we don't get this in the finals, right? I'm hoping we get this out of the way in qualifying, because as it sits right now, I think all my accounts are going to be moving on to the finals, which has been a while. But here you're going to see that I'm going with overpower and right curl, and I hit a perfect ball. But this is what happens. Very fortunate here to just stay on the fairway. It still left me sweating a little bit for this shot, in which I do make at least, you know. A little bit of top spin here. Got the ball guideline going through the hole because we're getting 8.5 mile/hour headwinds. But I save it on this account. On the other account, I got stuck in the rough, and I missed it. So, you know, that kind of stinks. So, minus 15 with a birdie on hole number 9. I'm pretty happy with it. Minus 14 on my other account because I missed a really simple chip in on hole number 8. But anyways, guys, hey, that's pro. I appreciate you being patient. It's been a very long day. I'm done with Golf Clash for the night. I will get pro back 9 out to everybody very early tomorrow morning my time. Best of luck, everybody. Hit that subscribe button. Give me that thumbs up, and let me know how you do in the comments. Thank you.